This is a veritable black shop where the proprietress takes advantage of beauty. After the businessmen who come and go drink too much, the boss will turn it into a jar of fine wine, and the more people drink, the more mellow it will be. According to legend, in an ancient temple a long time ago, there lived foxes and demon cats who had practiced for 500 years, and they always came out to harm people in the middle of the night. Whenever night comes, the temporary ancient temple will transform into an inn. But on this day, there was a sudden knock on the door. The proprietress immediately opened the door with joy, and saw a man carrying a silly roe deer outside. Hunters come to stay. The proprietress immediately warmly welcomed him in. When the proprietress brought the wine, the hunter asked her to cook his silly roe deer. With your body, there must be a lot of people to drink with me, which would be even more enjoyable. So the hunter and the landlady started changing glasses and having a good time over the wine. After drinking for 30 years, the hunter kept praising the taste of the wine. At this time, the landlady was secretly happy. The wine that the hunter made in such a large amount must be the best in the world. The hunter in front of him was a rare treasure, and he needed to put it into his wine cellar, so he and the hunter drank 4 bowls in a row. When the boss saw it, he was very excited and cheered for the lady boss. After a while, they drank 6 full jars of wine. At this time, the hunter still had a red face and his heart was not beating, but the boss lady began to be unable to resist. Unexpectedly, she trembled again in the next second and sat up tall. It was impressive. I'm sorry, I accidentally fell. I gave you pour the wine, and then you pour 3 large bowls of wine for the hunter. The hunter has not faced an opponent in chess for a long time, and she is such a wonderful woman. He drank the 3 bowls of wine immediately, and even more after finishing it. Place the bowl directly in front of the boss lady. But at this time, the hand of the landlady holding the wine bowl began to tremble, and the hunter kept urging him. Although he no longer had the courage to drink anymore, he was not strong enough to drink, so he had to use his wits. So he immediately stood up, threw the wine bowl to the ground, and finally said very arrogantly that drinking from a bowl would not be as enjoyable as drinking from a jar. He also said that if the hunter could keep standing after a jar of fine wine, then all the food and drinks tonight would be free of charge. After hearing this, the hunter burst out laughing. Under the shocked gaze of the landlady, he drank all the wine in the wine jar and stood up. But the boss lady also looked serious in her eyes. Shadow, obviously already drunk. She was exhausted, but she persisted in the end, so she signaled the boss lady with her hand to force her to drink. She had no choice but to pick up the wine jar, and after forcefully taking a sip of wine, she could no longer hold on and fell down on the table. The prototype of the fox is immediately revealed. Looking at the scene in front of him, the hunter was not surprised. It turned out that the hunter had already discovered the clues here. I heard that this was to enter the wisdom pearl in the comment area. In 2023, all bad luck will leave you. Quickly move your fingers to try. Try it, and at this moment, old man. The boss holds a charm behind the hunter and sticks it to him. Unexpectedly, the hunter relied on his years of acumen to dodge, but the boss couldn't stop because he used too much force, so he put the charm on the fox's body. The next second, the fox in front of him turned into a jar of wine. The hunter immediately bent over when he saw this. The bow and arrow hit the boss's wrist unexpectedly. Although the pain made the boss grin, he was not fatally injured. However, he also revealed the prototype of the demon cat. Seeing that the situation was not going well, he immediately ran out of the inn, his head hurt. He ran away into the distance without looking back. And when the hunter returned home minding his own business, looking at the brightly lit house, he was puzzled, but he didn't think much about it. Then he went up and knocked on the door. When his daughter heard it, she immediately came out to greet her and scolded her for coming back too late today. The hunter could find any excuse for it. Prevaricate. But after returning to the house, the hunter said that he had left, and how could he grow a beard in 3 or 4 days? The daughter immediately pulled the beard off and lied that it was the hair that she had lost. Tight. Then the hunter said what happened to her hand. My daughter quickly said that she accidentally hurt her while cooking today. I was talking about why your other hand was hairy. Dad, I see you drank too much. How come your daughter's hands are hairy? It's not good that you don't have enough concentration after being injured. This is because your tail is not exposed. Since Dad drank too much, he should stop drinking. I went to serve you a meal, but he accidentally went to serve it. When he fell down, it turned out that the hunter had noticed the clues and stepped on the tail of the demon cat before he was prepared. He then bent his bow and arrow to kill it. The next day, the hunter came to the inn early and released all the people who had been turned into wine and sealed in jars. This story tells us that even the cunning fox cannot escape the keen eyes of the hunter. What truths have you seen? Everyone is welcome to communicate with each other.